Hello there! I'm Scotty, you're not. Welcome back to the Smallville Retrospective. We're on Season 1, Episode 11, Hug, which, I forgot to mention, I didn't realize this. Shimmer is officially where we are done. We are now officially done with all of the revisited, rewatch reviews from now on. These are first time, I've watched them before. These are first time reviews. Starting with Hug. This is where I stopped last time. I did watch the episode. And then I'm like, I don't want to do anymore. Well, here I am. I'm doing this one. Here we go. Hug, episode 11. So, this episode is one of the better ones. Alright. It features two people who have the ability to control people by touching them, give them a handshake, that sort of thing. Being as they were both salesmen, when the meteor shower hits, they both get that ability. I'm trying to fix that. So that's why they get that ability from them. So yes. So we're introduced to one-time villain Bob Rickman, who I think, and again, could have been another great recurring villain, but he's only in this episode. And if you think about it, though, he is sort of OP. Like, he just gives someone a handshake, and he controls whatever happens, controls them. Yeah, we also meet Kyle Tippett, his former business partner and local hermit, who again is another character that was never mentioned before, but they act like he's always been around. They act like Rickman's always been around too, but he's more of a company man who's been around all over the place, so there's that. But with Kyle, they act like he's always been there, living in the woods for 10 years. Yeah. So there's not really a B plot in this episode. Everything sort of connects together. With Rickman being the through line through everything. He shows up in Metropolis. He wants to buy some land. It just so happens to be the Kent Farm, because we gotta work that in there. And he wants to build a new plant, sewage plant or something, on there. And Lex knows very well what it's like trying to make a deal with the Kents. And he's like, "Trust me, you're not gonna get anything." But he doesn't know. He doesn't know. There is an incident in the beginning of the episode where Clark, Lana, and Chloe are going horse riding. No Pete. There's no Pete in this episode. We don't see Pete. Justice for Pete. We want Pete. Where is Pete? I want Pete back. He better be in the next episode. I don't even know what the next episode is, but he better be in that one. I can't do it up to my head. It's the last one I'm doing before I take a little break. I'll probably come back to it later today, but for sure, doing episodes one after another kind of, yes, that's the last one I have the thumbnail for anyway. But anyway, no Pete. But yeah, Lana goes back for her phone or keys or something, and they hear a scream. And Clark goes after her, and he finds Kyle over the top, looking at her. She has a camera in her hand, I guess, for some reason. And it looks like Kyle's trying to help her. However, everyone else seems to think that Kyle attacked her, including Whitney, who is... They briefly mention what's going on with his dad, but they don't go into it in this episode. So, that's going forward, I guess. That's, But anyway, so, So Clark's the only one that really believes that Kyle is innocent, but no. Rickman happens to see this, and he influences Whitney to attack him at his home. Clark, who was already there, he drove him home, was driving back when he sees Whitney's truck. I know you're under someone's influence, but I don't know. Now, it's explained later that when you are under control of one of them, they have to do what you say, and they forget it ever happened afterwards. Whitney Whitney lies to the cops. Then, with that explanation, we find out later that Whitney lied to the cops and was hoping that Clark would back him up. He had to have been, because what happens is Whitney showed up and started attacking Kyle. Clark comes in and saves the day, but Kyle gets arrested because Whitney claims that he came to just talk to Kyle, and Kyle attacked him for no reason. If this works the way they explained it, where they don't remember anything, Whitney's excuse should be, I don't know what happened. Last thing I remember, I was standing in town, outside a coffee shop, and next thing I know, I'm here. I don't even remember driving here. That's how it should have worked. So, one thing I can think of is that Whitney lied to the cops. And because of this, Lana is now angry with Clark because he won't take their side on this. I forgot that. But, they're wrong. So Kyle gets arrested and he's in jail for a little bit. And then Rickman, somehow, he talks Jonathan. There's this whole thing where he goes to talk to him. Jonathan's like, I'm not interested in selling. And he goes to leave and he trips. He pretends to trip and fall down and asks for a hand. So he does that, and then he's like, and this is where we get, don't remember anything. He came in, he made me an offer, I turned him down, shook his head, and that was it. I'm sitting here with a check in my hand. So that's why I think that Whitney lied, because that's how it works, that's how it was explained. It would happen, and yet Whitney says different. I don't know. So they go to Lex and talk to his lawyers, and they still can't explain how it happened. They don't know yet. And then they find out about the meteor shower and everything. Lex still not 100% clued in onto the meteor rock stuff. He was investigating, although it's been a few episodes since the last time we saw him investigating. But I know Victoria in this episode either. I don't know. I know we're not done with her. I know there's at least one more episode with her. But anyway, so he's getting his lawyers to help. And, then Rickman decides he's going to cut his losses, and he controls a police officer to kill Kyle, but not before Kyle controls another police officer so he can escape and take the police officer's clothes. And then, because I think he knows Rickman is going to come after him. And then the cop shows up and starts shooting, but Clark was there because he wanted to go talk to Kyle. And they're able to escape. However, this leads them to calling Lex. Lex, who has just had a meeting with Rickman, where it's made to be, he's in there and he's like, Rickman shows up and he's like, Lex, I'm going to call this whole thing off. I'm moving away from Smallville completely. Good. So you can call your lawyers off. Okay, good. Hey, just for the sake of it, how about a truce? And then he just kind of shows Lex, and it cuts away. So Clark is talking to Lex on the phone, says they need his help. He's going to go to the cops. He's going to tell him everything. Lex shows up in a car. Right, he's driving. So Clay didn't go off any bridges on the way there. But anyway, he's like, I gotta get gas, and then if we're going to Metropolis. So they get in the car, he locks the car, starts spraying gas all over the car, and they're like, what? And then he lights. They don't realize something's happening until after he lights the gas. But, yeah. Clark bursts out both his and Kyle's door. He kicks out his door and he pulls Kyle's door off. And they jump out. Now, this version of Lex has seen what is going on. It's like, Clark. Now, so Rickman gives him a gun and tells him to go after him. It's a, I don't know, one of those things. Submachine gun, whatever you call it. And so Lex is supposed to be maniacal here, but he comes off as drunk. Clark, I knew there was something about you. He seems drunk, then more maniacal. And I think maybe like Rosemont was trying to pull it off. Is he's not completely evil. He's influenced, so he's acting like he's under the influence, but he comes off as drunk. Clark gets shot by a whole bunch of bullets. They do leave a mark, but don't go through his skin. He's got bruises, we find out. And Lex is knocked unconscious, much like Whitney was, so he doesn't remember anything. And so, Kyle catches up to Rickman and makes him kill himself with a gun, shoots him in the head, which is just a way to wrap it up real quick, but it's kind of dark. He just went that route. But they can't really prove. They ruled it a suicide, and so because of that, the sale is now final. They're dropping the sale and everything, and that's wrapped up there. And Clark and Lana make up. They're going to be friends again, and so, yeah, and then Kyle is going to change his ways, although we never see him again, so it doesn't matter. Doesn't matter at all. You know what? This episode was fine. I'm going to give it 3.5 stars out of 5. Or 3.5 Superman logos out of 5. I think it's better than the last one for sure. I think it's one of the better ones, but it doesn't get up to the heights of some of the better ones. I don't know. It's a little formulaic if you think about it. You know, it ends the way you think it would end. One of the guys who can control people tells the other one to do it. Although you think they would be immune. Clark is immune. There's one part where he shakes Clark's hand and nothing happens. And Clark just like starts trying to break the other guy, break Rickman's hand. Which is funny. But yeah, this was... So, one more and I'm taking a little break. But until then, what are your thoughts on this episode? Let me know in the comments. So much like, share, and subscribe. Thanks for watching. I've been Scotty. I'll see you in the next one.